I can read okay now. Like, back when I was a child, I was terrible, let's be honest about that. But now I'm okay when I'm alone and it's quiet and I can concentrate and there's no pressure. But as soon as like someone's expecting me to read something, it just drops off.
His teachers said that they didn't know what was wrong, why he couldn't connect his words and his reading and everything, and had no idea what his issue was, because he had a fantastic memory. So he could read a book that was given to a 5-year-old. He could actually close the book and Ryan could still read the book.
Especially when the teacher's like reading text and they read a paragraph and the next person reads a paragraph and they're slowly going down the class until they reach you and you're getting more and more nervous and you just know it's going to be you and you don't know where they're at and you just look at your page and you start to shake. And then you slowly work at the paragraph and everyone feels sorry for you, then they move on.
Most dyslexics don't need to go back to the beginning. They often will have some strategies that they already use, decoding strategies. And so what we don't want to do is spend time teaching them something they already know. So once we've completed the assessments, we can target the strategies. In fact, there's about 85 decoding strategies that readers use to read common everyday words, Anglo-Saxon words.
What are some of the strategies that you use today for when you're decoding text, when you're reading text?
Back in the day, primary school, when I'm struggling to read a word or a sentence, I never would ask what the word was, which was the problem. I'd always ask what did it mean.
Because she'd done the assessments, we knew that what he had to work on and what he didn't. So therefore at home we could cater for what he needed to improve in. So Sue helped a lot, but also she gave Ryan confidence that he was capable of doing it and there was nothing wrong. He just had to learn a bit more and do a bit more practice. I did have to make sure that on Ryan's records that all the information was stored, so that each year I requested that the new teachers would read it all so that when they would go into the class they would know exactly what Ryan's history was. I'd done work with the college before he went in, and by that stage we'd had an assessment from Sue that had actually said the word dyslexia, and we'd done a lot more work. So I went in on the pretext of that I'd had the school organised, so we'd had meetings beforehand and put processes and procedures in place for Ryan. So I went in on the opinion that for once in his education things were going to work out.
At the start, not many friends, didn't know people, had classes and things, still wasn't good at English.
You have a meeting with his English teacher and his English teacher would say, well, we can't read his writing, he's not putting anything together. You know, he's not the worst in the class, he's not the best in the class, but he's failing and he's going to completely struggle.
My friends knew I was dyslexic. They were fantastic, because you're in class and you're struggling to read something, hey, what's that? And they tell you, which is nice. That's how I basically got through most of English until like year 13 where I stopped. After that it would get hard because I struggled to read normal English, and year 13 English is Shakespeare. Me and Elizabethan don't get along well.
I got the agreement out of the school that they would have to speak to each individual teacher that was teaching Ryan, and it would be Ryan's choice if it came to an exam or not. Internal, he was allowed reader writers for internal exams, but when it came to assessments that he had to do normally through this normal schooling, that he would get extra time. Ryan coming to university was the first time that everything's just fallen into place for him. The university have done very, very good with the Disability Centre and putting the things in place for Ryan. And Ryan's a lot more mature, so he's taken responsibility for his own stuff. So no, I don't have that worry anymore.
Some of the lectures are actually completely recorded. Electronics completely recorded. Audio and video on the projector and the whiteboard and the lecturer, so I can just watch them all. I recently got a MacBook. They have a speech function on there. So I highlight text and just hit Control S, and it just reads it to me. That is so much easier.
Print is a barrier for them, and gaining access to the print is a challenge. There are different ways that they can gain access to print. We can use diagrams, charts, YouTube clips.
I have a note taker. I'm not good at taking notes. I'm assuming they pay them, but they pay them to take notes in that class for me and any other student in that class who has other disabilities. You try and get the important things down in your own notes or remember them, but if you miss something, hopefully they've got it. And so they get emailed to me, so I go home a day after the lecture and check my emails, and I have an email, and it's a PDF file and notes from that lecturer there. So it's nice. Like, mine short scribbled down, they've got long explanations and the diagrams which I missed out on drawing or with more detail, and it's really good.
I think lecturers, tutors, educators need to think about the pace in which they present the information. So moving at a slightly slower pace will not only advantage the dyslexic learner, but also all learners.
You know your child and you know what they're like, and I think you have a rough idea on what you think they're capable of. So when you start your preschools and your schools and your teachers are saying to you that, you know, this is not right and that's not right, and you think, well, no, I think my child's capable of it, you need to take it a step further. I mean, teachers are individuals as well, and sometimes they need that extra prompting to go, well, no, just because he's not doing it, you know, doesn't mean he's not capable. Because that's what I've found through the education system, is that you'd go to school interviews and I'd explain about Ryan's dyslexia and the teachers would go, but we have no issue with him in the class. Why does he need a reader-writer? Because he's not the worst in the class. Well, yeah, he mightn't be the worst, but as a parent I've picked up that I think he's capable of doing more.
Dyslexic, it's a terrible word to spell. Because at university, when you have to enroll, there's a box, you tick disability. You have the, do you have a learning disability? Yes. Okay, let's go with that. And then it says why, and you're like, I am oh shit. I had to do this at the university because one of my applications failed. And luckily I knew the person sitting next to me, so I asked them. They didn't know, so they knew the person sitting next to them, they knew. So eventually I know people to help, which is nice.
We've done the groundwork, now it's over to Ryan and he's taking control of it.
Not disabled, really. Apart from road signs. You're driving, you see a road sign, oh shit, what did that say? That is frustrating though. But you generally have a person sitting next to you who reads it faster than you. Yeah, I'm not disabled, I'm just not as good.